Hi folks, my wife bought me a Chinese cut50 plasma cutter for Christmas, so this is the unboxing, setup and first cuts. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so we've got the unit itself, which is a generic Chinese cut50. I haven't wired anything up yet, but I've plugged it in and played with the dial and all the lights come on, which must be a good sign. I have to say it's not necessarily the best put together thing I've ever seen. But there's a bolt missing here, and that's because it's just not going to fit right now. I might, if I can be bothered, drill a new hole and put another bolt in. The condition of the soldering and the circuit boards isn't great either, but somebody advised that I take pictures of it, of all the circuit boards, in case anything does go wrong in the future. I've got an idea of what it used to look like. So I've done that in a natty bag to carry your torch, I guess. Not entirely sure where you carry it to. The torch itself. So lots of people have commented on how flimsy this is, and it doesn't seem massively flimsy. On the other hand, I think this switch probably isn't going to like being dropped or stood on particularly much. Mind you, that could do with being tightened up. So I've already had the tip off, make sure that everything seems to be in place inside, which it is. We've got a little O-ring, double-sided tip there, swirler here. Let's see, let's go next. Yeah, that goes on. Oh no. Yes. No. Oh, that's good. I've only had it 5 minutes and I've forgotten how it works. Yeah, there we go. So some people have suggested that if these aren't on tight, then that's going to decrease the lifespan. So we've got air going up there, out the tip, and and this is just the switch. So it's going to plug in here, and our air is going to plug in here, I think. This little yellow thing, which I can't get off. Okay, what else we got? Got an earth lead, kind of what you'd expect for a £150 unit. Mind you, it is only rated at 50 amps output, so I guess that's going to be good enough. It doesn't have copper teeth, so if I get any problems with that I might replace that with copper teeth. Got a standard earth plug, I'm just going to go in there. Yep. That. What else we got? We've got a water trap, so that's going to go in line with the air and hopefully take the moisture out. So it looks as if we pull on that to drop the water out. I dry fitted some of the fittings the other day, and stupidly I didn't realise that these were supposed to come out, these little plugs. So I need to pull that out. And I was trying to fit the plug into that, and obviously given that it's an airtight piece of rubber, that's not really going to help much. So that can go in the bin. So we've got a water trap, we've got some spare consumables, so we've got another 3 sets. No idea how long these will last. Anything else in here? Oh yeah, got a little flow meter. There we go. So what I don't entirely understand is what the point of having the flow meter here and here is. So maybe that'll become obvious. I'm not an expert in plasma cutting, so there may be a very good reason for it that I'm just not aware of. And we've got a bag of bits. Hopefully we've got a bag of enough bits. Got a bit of hose because the air is going to go in line. The water trap is going to go in line. So the air hose is going to come in one direction. I think the meter goes on the other, and then we've got the output is going towards the towards the cutter. So we've got a bit of tube, mounting bracket, that's going to go in the back. We've got 4 Jubilee clips. Quite a lot of people have said that, that these don't make particularly great airtight connections, so I've got some PTFE tape and we'll see if that improves matters any. Oops. We had a screw. I think that's an earth screw, not entirely sure, but oh, I wonder if that's the missing screw. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So they didn't fit the screw, but they very kindly put it in the bag so that I could have a shot at it myself. And the 2 air connections that are going to go on this. And the 2 surplus plugs that I managed to pull out, and some not particularly great instructions. Mind you, I've read worse Chinese instructions. The picture isn't particularly helpful. So it's just kind of a generic, logical diagram of where everything goes. It doesn't actually help. So I went on the internet and I managed to find a picture of somebody else's setup. So I've printed that out, and that's hopefully going to help me sort out the cabling at the back. So that's what we're going to do next. Let's see if we can get everything connecting. So this is going to go on this, and that's going to go there. So that's pretty straightforward. I'm having a bit of a moment because I seem to have, in my mind, I've got too many hoses. But it's going to make sense to me that it's going to face out the way, right? There's lots of much tighter fit sooner. Okay, let's get it vertical. Okay, good. Now how about this? It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a little bit the same. That was easy. I've done something dumb. Where the hell's the inlet? So where's the gas going to come in? The compressor is going to have to come into one of these 2. So actually the compressor is going to come in that side. This is going to sit here. So now I'm confused. So where does this guy come in? If in doubt, read the manual. Doesn't help. I've taken that off. No idea where that would go, but I don't think it's going in this setup anyway. The other thing I realised was that this was one of the 2 supplied air couplings. It might be a standard, but it's certainly not a standard that's going to fit on my air hose. So I'm going to swap it for one that does, which pisses me off slightly because I've had to take this off of one of my air tools, so I need to buy a replacement for that. So this PTFE tape seems like good stuff, but when you take it off it kind of disintegrates. I don't know if that's down to my poor ability to fit it in the first place, but there's some left in the threads, and what I don't want is for that to get sucked into the air feed. So trying to clean that out as best I can. Right, so this is definitely the guy that's going in, right? Luckily the thread seems to be the same as the one that fits the water trap. Not sure what I would have done. If not, I guess I'd have to find some other adapter for that thing. That seems like a lower pressure adapter as well. It doesn't look as if you're going to get a lot of purchase in that. Anyway, we are where we are, right? Okay. I guess not holding the glass is probably a good plan, right? Alright. This seems to be like a mini regulator as well. This is what I guess is an on-off tap. And when it's off, nothing happens. And when it's up, there's some kind of adjustment. Okay. Right, Mark 2. Put them back here. Oh, actually, do you know what? Why do I do that? Oh, of course, that's what. So this is expecting just literally a hose, and that's what the third Jubilee clip was for. No surprise that people didn't get a good fit then. Both of them on, so I don't forget the second one before I mount it in the machine. Let's check what happens with the air. So a lot of people say that this thing comes fitted without a plug, so this one certainly came with a plug on, but I think that's UK law that you must ship with an appropriate fused plug, but not exactly generous with the power cord, so let's plug it into an extension. Of course, if you're going to pull any kind of appreciable current on an extension lead, you want to have the whole thing unwound. However, I'm not going to cut anything with it right now. I'll make sure the dial's turned down to 0. And we just want to check for the operation of the air. Dial down, put it up. Leave the earth clamp off because I don't want it to accidentally spark. Nada. Ah, but it's not on. Haha. Okay, that's looking good. So this is where the air would be going. So if I press the button, we should get some air coming out here, and also when I go the button, I think it keeps pushing the air for a couple of seconds to cool. Yep. Yep, good. So I guess this is a switch at the top. Ah, okay. So what I thought was a switch at the top just locks the setting with these lens. Okay, now we're ready to rock and roll and see what happens here. So look at the air feed, which is positive. Huh. Who'd have thought it? Okay, that was easy. And got the air. And the trigger. Looks like it goes that way, yep. Okay, stick the earth clamp in a piece of wood so we don't get any unwanted arc, and then just check that we're getting air through the hose. Yep. So you see when I press it and let go, we've got a couple of seconds, which I think is to cool the tip. Well, exciting. That means there's nothing left now except to try and cut something. Excellent. Okay, so I've gone and set up a piece of 3mm steel. I've got my Boley shade 5 nifty shades on. We'll earth it. We'll see what happens. First plasma cut, hopefully. Well, it's not neat, but it's a cut. So this is the slag. So I don't know whether you grind that off, or I think I saw some people hitting it with a hammer. I'm guessing you have to grind it. See if I can do a straight line. I think a thinner piece of wood would be good. Wood seems to have escaped unscathed. It's hot. It's not as hot as it would be if I was welding, but very hot, so very decent straight edges. You can see where it bubbles at the bottom of the cut. The wood didn't fare so well this time, but I guess using a piece of metal is probably a smarter plan, right? Okay, let's see if I can do my initials. go. I was going to do my initials, but I was having such fun, I went with the whole thing. I'm pleased with that. I think with a straight edge I can get some pretty decent cuts. There's quite a lot of slag in the back of that, which I suspect means I had the amps turned up too high for the thickness of metal. But it cut it, and it was a lot less effort than using a grinder, so result.